Hello folks and welcome back to the channel. Today we are at the Nurburgring and it's the current time trial using the Honda Civic Type R FL5 22. We're actually going to try a different ghost method to start this today, and it was something that was introduced to me. So using the last fastest lap that I've got, which is the current replay we're against, I'm actually going to set this to reset ghost position. So every time we go through a time sector it will reset the ghost to where we are. So just giving you a little bit of history, I did a live stream last week which set us up to where we are today. Fastest lap during that live stream was a 7:51.620, and we're going to take you through the first lap. We're just pointing out some of the pointers of where we've been, where we're going, where to brake, where to accelerate, etc., and some of the things you'll experience. Current fastest requirement I think is a 7:50.8, I believe. We're somewhere just underneath the distance of my ghost. My ghost is 0.9 seconds ahead, and as you can see there's two ghosts out there. There's my fastest ghost and then a prior lap that we've just done today, because this is about my second lap I'd say. Having done the live stream and been taking advice from people, which is always the stress thing. Whilst we're out there I'm getting text information from people saying do this, do that. It's never easy to translate what they're saying. And also I'm getting voice and verbal feedback from guys that join the chat, the live chat. Again, it's very difficult to understand what people are saying, and the way I like to run these time trial challenges is to set myself up against a ghost and just beat them and beat them and beat them. However, it doesn't quite work that way, and I guess that's the entertaining factor for the live stream, is that it gets me so confused, so confuffled. So what I've chosen to do, and it goes against the grain really, is I chose to do an offline hour-long session. It was actually 51 minutes of video, which I've just condensed down just a wee bit. It was an hour and 51, sorry, which I've condensed down a wee bit to just make it viewable. As you can see here, going into the 90 right underneath Yamagawa Bridge, and that's somebody's name for the bridge, not the real name. We're actually chasing the ghost down here. So if you're going to do any sort of routine to get yourself into these laps, you have to have a sider. Every time you come to the track you need to go against something, and you need to try and put a lap in to try and get things going. So here I am just gaining on my previous lap. You can see that blue time just above the bar, the rev counter that's in blue with a little red arrow going down. Now it's a blue arrow going up. That indicates you're getting closer to your previous lap. So we're actually 0.3 ahead of where we were in the previous lap, so that'll be probably that second ghost, the one that's nearest to us. As you see, getting up now, we're half a second up. What I've found with this car being front wheel drive, I'm actually using traction control 1 and counter steer assistance on strong, so that'll stop the back end stepping out quite so much. It doesn't, but it should try to, because this car slides a lot under braking, and JB gave me the best amount of advice you could do. You're actually braking too late and you're entering corners too fast if the back end of the car is sliding. So his advice was to slow down before you get to the corner and then accelerate through it, and as you can see here we're making great gains. The other bit of advice was to accelerate in third gear or fourth gear depending on the speed. If you come out of a second gear corner, get it changed up, get it in third gear and accelerate out in third. It will feel slower, but the traction is greater. This car will wheel spin in the lower gears. We've got traction control on 1 and it still wheel spins, but also the traction control is actually retarding your acceleration, which I am fully aware of. We had a large debate last week about using traction control, etc. So whilst my audio is with you today doing narration, it's not usual that we do it this way. I would normally have a little camera image in the bottom left hand corner, but from the length of the video I thought it might be appropriate just to talk over it. So we're getting to the critical part of the lap now. This is where we really have to start chasing. So just looking in the bottom right hand corner there, my current record is 7:51.620. I'm about 0.85 away from gold, and this is just my warm-up run. I'm on the third lap of 3. I set a 7:52.631, so that 0.8 there is actually a 7:51.8. We're not actually faster than the gold. So this is just the intro and just the talking through it. And you you'll see there, we're not changing up gear until very late in the gears. We're allowing the car to out rev itself and getting up into the higher revs past 7,000 RPM. Braking into the carousel here. This is the first carousel. The ideal gear for the carousel is third gear. As you can see, we're now 1.15 seconds up against that previous time. That's 7:52.6. So this would be a 7:51.1 if we were to cross the line now. So that would have just beaten our current record. We've lost a little bit of time there. Why would it be a 7:51.1? It would be a 7:51.4. This is a key part of the circuit here, getting this part. It's fourth gear all the way through here. If you can get the car straight, using all the curves as much as you possibly can, you'll see us run wide there. Again, that's all legal. It's only if you put all the four wheels all over one white line, but you really use the corner there. A late turn into this corner is better than an early turn in, and it's the same with this one here. See how the ghost reset just then? It took the ghost we were beating and put it straight out back in front. So the ghost moves back to 0.9. This was just me trying it out, and I actually did 3 laps. Those 3 laps I actually found it did work, but it would mislead you because you think you're with the ghost if you overtake it, then it resets it. If you got behind it, it would be going scampering away and it would come back, and again you'd think you were up on the ghost. So not 100% sure I like that methodology. Here we come. This is the hardest corner on the track for me here, not knowing where to brake. Third gear corner. Now I often try and keep it in third here, but fourth it would need to be, and then watching other people's fastest lap replays, fourth gear is the gear to come out of there. It doesn't feel right in my head currently. So as we get into this corner, this one you have to get over to the right hand side and try and get up to fifth gear as early as you can and let the car rev it through. Now there's 2 schools of thought. This straight ends with a large elevation up to the bridge. You can see it in front of us there. I've been told to keep it in 5th all the way to the top of the hill. If you put it into 6th, the car will lose momentum going up the hill and it won't keep the revs. But I've actually found it's negotiable. It's negatable. It's one or the other. I think it's a personal choice thing. You can see we're just gaining now. If we go up a gear, we continue to gain. Now it levels out. Now we're losing. So it swings and roundabouts. Braking point here, just on the end of those red curbs. Brake down, change down to third, get it in. As you can see, we're going to make a massive dive for the line here. We're much quicker than the ghost. We're really catching them up. 1.185, 1.158. We lost a little bit of time through there. 1.2, and there we go. 7:51.4. Actually improved on the previous time by 0.2 of a second. Now, of course, we need about 0.6 now. There we go. We're up to 7:51.420, 3.15%, so 0.15% over, and we're 7,600. And at this point, I'm going to turn the ghost off. And there's our list. We're just on 12th place now at the bottom, at 7:51.420, and we just got to go back at it, folks. Just coming up to the second carousel. Here I find it best to keep all 4 tyres on the tarmac. Don't try and steal too much of the grass, it really does upset the car. Try and follow the straightest line possible. Braking just before the red and white. We lose the back end of the car. We almost hold it. But it's one of those moments where there was certainly some effing and jeffing going on from my point of view. So that was kind of lap 4, and now we're going to get into the nuts and bolts of how to improve. 7:51.420. That's going to be one of the ghosts, and these are fixed now at 0.9. So we have to make a run at these. We have to keep within 0.9 of the ghost to improve our position and our time. We have to get a 750.8 to be able to gain gold. It's 0.15% away our current time, and as you can see we're already making moves on the previous ghost, but that one in front is the one we have to beat. At the bottom of the hill, after this complex of corners here, is the first sector marker, and you're going to see the time come up there at the bottom on the session best. Keep it in 4th gear until after the bottom of the hill. Change up a 49.629. Any time 49-ish will get you gold if you maintain the sector times. That's your first critical. If you get a 49.8, you're still good. The ghost just overtakes us. We're keeping it in 5th gear here. Lift, brake, put 2 wheels on the grass. As soon as you get the car straight, brake. Down to 3rd gear. The car will slide. We probably could have broke a little bit earlier underneath Yamagawa Bridge. Now down to the bottom of the hill, we're going to keep it in 5th gear when we get there, and we're going to change down to 4th and cut left across the apex of the corner, and then it's a mad crazy brake to get the car down to 3rd gear. Here we go, down to 3rd gear into this corner. We're up against both ghosts at this point. 3rd gear out of here. There we go. You could probably do 3rd gear through there, to be honest. That'll probably keep the momentum going. That's for later. Up to 4th. We're losing ground to the first ghost. We didn't keep momentum going through that last complex. At the end of those curves, brake down to 3rd. Keep it in 3rd gear. Probably could have broke a little bit earlier. Into here, 2nd gear. Again, I want to do that in 3rd. I feel this should be a 3rd gear corner. And this next one, if you can hang it right and wide enough, you shouldn't need to lift the throttle. You should be able to get through there flat. And this is a 4th gear lift. As you can see, the back end comes round. Almost lost it. But you should be able to keep that in 4th gear with the right amount of braking. Changing down to 3rd, changing down to 2nd. Those 2 ghosts are line astern, look. And we're within 0.9 at this current moment in time. We're on track. This is going to be the first lap of 3, and you'll see how we're going to improve and where we're going to improve, and you'll see the crucial point where we start to improve and how we start to get that gold medal. I'm actually more interested in the certificate. The target time of a 7:44. If it's a 7:44.8, and that's what I'd really like to get hold of. And I'm thinking at this time, how are we able, and at 7:51, to even think about knocking the best part of 7-8 seconds off my time? It doesn't seem possible. The fastest laps in the world are doing 7:37s, which again, absolutely mind-blowing. But is the key point with this race is its momentum. At this moment in time, coming down the back of the circuit, we are more than 0.9 away from the first ghost, and we're probably about 0.6 back from the second ghost there in front of us. We gain through that corner again, probably braking too late and allowing the car to slide. Keep it in 4th. Keep it in 4th. Braking hard before the curb starts. 3rd gear for this corner. Let the car run through. Again, we could have broke a little bit earlier, and it's key that you hear me saying that. Keep braking a bit earlier, keep braking a bit earlier. It is a fact. 2nd carousel, 3rd gear. Sorry, 1st carousel, 3rd gear. Now Now at this point this has got to be fourth gear all the way through this complex. Even if I do something else, no, it's fourth gear all the way through here. Now you can bounce off that fence on the left hand side. Third gear for here just to slow the car down. Then it's back up to fourth. Should be able to do this whole complex in fourth gear. It's me not really understanding, or my fingers doing something different. It's fourth gear all the way with the right line, and it's down here, down into third. Definitely a third gear. Third gear. If you can slow the car down enough and keep it in fourth, it will help. I'm not that quick at this point. I'm not that good at this point. I'm getting better. So third gear, a late entry here is better than an early. Use all the road. Brake early here. Turn in tighter. And you'll see we're just starting to catch up now. We're catching up with both ghosts. And here's a critical skill, being able to see through the ghost and look where you are and ignore it. Braking down, brake, brake, brake. Fourth gear, leave it in fourth gear, don't take it out. You can touch the grass, you can go over the curb here. We're just starting to get a handle on this. We're just starting to feel it. We're probably 0.6 ahead, so we're probably bang on time for the gold. I've just managed to get past that point where I stuffed it last time. We're now ahead of the first ghost. It's the second ghost that's critical. Now we're within 0.3. I would suggest a guess. Third gear. Keep it in fourth though if you can. Hold it out to the left. See how the other ghosts come past me. Get it up to fifth as soon as we practically can. Let the car accelerate out. Probably, if we were in fifth as we came out of the corner, we'd have been much quicker through this part of the circuit. We're probably not on a gold lap now. We'd probably let those two guys run away with it. We didn't get the final speed out of that corner. Let's see what we can do under the brakes. Right, top of the hill, change up to sixth gear. There it is. Let the car accelerate. 49, 50. We're gaining on them. We can feel it. We're looking for that braking point. We're going to run it along the track. Brake on the edge of the red. Down to fifth. Got past one ghost. Third gear. Use the curb on the inside. If the car slides, keep it moving. There's the momentum. Second gear. We kept it in third. Keeping it in third. We've kept it inside the line. Where's this going to be? A 750.5. That's gold. That's gold. But we're not done yet. We're not done yet. Both ghosts are there. We thought we were. We thought we were going to keep moving. And then we're going to see what happens at this point in the lap. Cut that apex. Don't forget, we've got to straighten it up. I blew it. Oh. So it's time to have a restart. We'll go and look what that time was, a 7:55.80. Let's see where we get to. So a 7:50.580 is just inside by 0.93. That makes us top 2,600. We just move up to 10th on the list. Not going to compare ourselves to anybody at this point, but 10th on the friends list is pretty good. 6,078th. Let's go again. Let's see if we can improve on this. And this was in time as it actually happened. So let's see if we can gain on that ghost. We were very slow through the first half of the circuit. We were chasing the ghost all the way. And, as it happens, we didn't have a very good intro there, did we? So, we're just going to go and change that ghost again. We're going to reload it, and we're going to reload in the fastest possible lap. And away we go. So the ghost is now the 7:55.80. I always use this intro to the lap to just test where it is, to throw it about a little bit. Second gear. I want to keep it in third gear for the finish of the lap. Notice there's no ghost. what we discovered here is as you try and change ghosts, you actually have a tremendous amount of difficulty in actually getting things to work correctly. So you have to quit out all the way. 482.5 miles for the day. Quit out and reload back in. That's the only thing you can do at that point when you get a bugged ghost where it won't load it. But I was well chuffed with that. That's gold. I realised at this point, and it's one of those things, 14 days left to go, where you think, right, now we've got to really set the mindset against getting the certificate. I really want that certificate to be able to stick it on the wall behind me, put it in some videos and show the world what I'm capable of, show the world what I'm able to. So here we go, back to the ghost settings. It's always a frustration when you have to quit out. Let's load that 750, 580, dead proud of that. Ghost at 0.9, which works for me. The reason it gets to 0.9 is when you get to the wall, the fastest point you get to, you're not really going to be able to close in on that ghost. It's going to be the optimum for me. The most difficult thing is to drive inside a ghost. So here we go. As we pop over the line, the ghost should actually be working, and there it is. And away we go, chasing the ghost. There will only be one ghost at this point because we've got no prior ghost history lap. But this is again live as it happened. Cutting the apexes as we go. This was a tricky corner at one point where you slide both wheels over to the right, quite frustrating. This one you can get much closer to that apex. When you do, you get a much straighter line across that second corner. So coming down the hill, looking for that 49 seconds. 49.5, that's quicker than last time already. Get the first apex, stay tight to the second. The previous ghost ran off into the grass there, so 5th gear all the way down here, don't change up to 6th. As we push on, leave it there, let that annoying little beep happen, it'll go away. Cut that apex there. And again, frustrating times off into the grass. Here we go. 750.580 to beat then. Final corner, we need to get that final corner smarter than that if we'll be able to beat this test. We've actually beat it now, but we need to make it secure just in case somebody else gets ahead of us. Somebody else is going to improve that fastest time, and then this time's going to move. I don't expect it will though. That 7:37 is just massively Olympic time for sure. Now the first ghost we've got is really slow through this sector, really quite slow. So as we come charging down here, there we go, much tighter across that apex as I said. If we can do a 49.6 or 49.7, there's the 49.7, that's still quick. A 48 is quick, but for me that's pretty decent. Let's keep it in 5th gear then, rev it through. Turn in, put 2 wheels on the grass, slide the car across it. Down to 2nd. Now if we can keep this going, that's an improvement for the next lap out. As you can see, we've got another slow first second sector. We're behind the ghost, but it's something to chase, and it's something you shouldn't give up on. Even though you might be slow, you're still learning the tracks, and keep pushing. There are 150 odd corners here. Oh, we wreck it. but this is all about the learning curve, and the reason I'm including these in the video, folks, is to show you it's not perfection. We're so far from perfection that you shouldn't just accept the videos that say this is how you do the fastest lap. You've got to go through this hard work, and I'm afraid to say it, everybody's got to go through it. If you can't go out and do this first lap, you've got to go through that same process. And I know it's frustrating, I know it's awkward, I know it's a load of wasted time, but it's not. It's all about the learning. And don't get frustrated by it. It's worth just taking a breath, having a look at what you're doing and resetting and going again and learn from it. I sound like a preacher, but at the end of the day, folks, it's only down to you and your patience and practice and your capability to learn from your mistakes. And that's all I'm trying to demonstrate here. Starting to feel the car, starting to know when it's going to slide, starting to know how to catch it. See if we can apex this corner well. We do. Absolutely bob on. Not quite as straight through the second half. Maybe we could get in a bit slower and accelerate with a straight line, but looking down the hill here, looking for 49 something. 49.7 is pretty good. Our record through there's a 49.5. We let it slide out a little bit there. Let's try and catch it. There we go, 5th gear. Some people are watching my videos and thinking he's using all the help aids. We only use the critical ones when it comes to the serious stuff, folks. When we're doing grinding videos, we're only using the help aids to make it easy to grind. Bit of a better line. The Ghost there had a bit of a slide. We imitated it. Something from the videos I used to do in the past. I always used to say, chase your Ghost, don't race it. I had a habit of trying to overtake my Ghost and actually overtake it, leaving space, not hit it. It's a terrible thing to do in your brain, but that's the way it is. Here we go into the corner, 3rd gear, very wild through there. Tried to carry as much speed as possible, and we're actually catching that Ghost. So 3rd gear, get it into 3rd gear, keep it in 3rd gear, chase it out. That's the way, that's better. We've got the momentum, we're closing in on that Ghost again. 5th gear down to 4th. 2 wheels on the grass. Use as much of it as you can. Only put the wheels on the grass on the inside of the corner. We were quicker than the Ghost through there. That's good. Up to 4th, down a 3rd, 2nd. I so want this to be a 3rd gear corner. We got into 3rd gear out of it. That's great. I don't want to lift here. Watch that throttle pedal. We just backed out of it, back on it. So we just lifted. Down to 4th, 3rd. Don't let the car slide. We caught the slide then. We're really catching the Ghost now. Coming down the hill. 4th, down to 3rd. Down to 2nd as we come across the grass. Get it back in tight. Up into 3rd and accelerate away. That's us catching the Ghost. So that Ghost there is a 755/80 Ghost. We need to try and beat that Ghost. Almost on the way to the wall. Now this is a critical corner. 3rd gear, tap the brakes, straighten it up, get on the throttle as soon as you can. I'm on TC1, so TC1 will just hold the throttle back a wee bit, but not enough to really give you a disadvantage. People do say traction control slows you down, but traction control will actually get you gold in every test that I've almost done. I say that. I've got 30 golds from these time trials, I think 9 silvers and 6 bronzes. Basically because the 6 bronzes have been the F1s or the very, very fast cars that my brain just can't get around, and the silvers will be those that I've got to the gold point, and in the vast majority they will have turned to silver on the night before. So I'll have done my last time and not watched it and not seen it, and it'll have gone, the gold time will have moved overnight, and it happens quite frequently, folks. If you're not far enough in front of that gold time, you can lose it on the night before update. Here we go, we're just keeping pace with the Ghost now. Break down before those red and white curbs, 3rd gear. So looking at where we are, we're probably a 749.9 right now with where the Ghost is. 3rd gear for this. Into this carousel, It's fast in third than it is in second. It feels slow coming out, but look at us go. We carried the speed through there. We're now ahead of the Ghost. We're ahead of both Ghosts. Well, there's only one at this point. The second Ghost will come next time. Third gear, which is a mistake. It should keep it in fourth. We can run those curves on the left down to third to get the car to turn in, but back on the gas up into fourth as soon as you're able. See if we can keep it in fourth here. No, we're down to third. Got to keep it tight. Get the left curb, left wheels on that grey curb. Same here. Down to third. We're probably 2 seconds up at this point, looking where that Ghost is. He's probably a good 0.9 behind, so that would mean 1.8 seconds up, almost 2 seconds. Probably turned in a wee bit early there. Third gear all the way through there, and we're ahead of the Ghost. We're doing brilliantly. Fourth gear through this complex. Don't change down to third. The car will accelerate beautifully out of in fourth. Fifth gear as you go just over that crest. Here's the worst part of the circuit for me. I never know when to brake. Fourth gear, really coast and roll it through. Down to third just before the curbs on the left hand side. Use the curbs on the right if you need to. Fourth gear. Now I will change it down to third, but I'm told fourth is the right gear out here. 2 tyres on the grass. Now if we can keep it in fourth here, this is optimal. We do it third. One of these laps we will do it in fourth. Back in, hug that outside. Get on the throttle now. Get on the throttle. See how I'm flat to the floor? Chase on hard. Look at the distance we've put on the Ghost. He's a speck in the rear view mirror at the top of the screen. Absolute tiny speck. We're away. Keep it in fifth. Get it going. What kind of time is this going to be? All the way to the top of the hill in fifth. All the way. As we roll over the top, you can sense it up to sixth, 149. It says fifth gear for the corner coming up. That Ghost has not caught us. Tap the brakes. On the brakes at the start of the red and whites. Down to fourth, down to third early. Through this apex, slide it round, get onto the curbs on the left hand side. Coming up to the last corner in third gear, we've overran it. Down to second, back on the gas, up to the line. A 7:48.9. Now we have 2 Ghosts. Do we stop there? No, we don't. We're going to keep going. And if you're as enthralled as this, and if you're struggling for the gold at this moment in time, here's the lesson. Be able to run multiple laps without mistakes. That is when you're starting to understand, then you're starting to learn the circuit. If you're struggling to do the laps because you can't get a grip of the car, you've just got to take it out there and wring its neck. I watched the world #1, the fastest lap time, and realised this car is being driven on the edge of its life. You've just got to wring its neck, literally make it turn, make it steer, jab the brakes, stab the brakes, make it actually turn as you're stabbing the brakes. A 49.7, so that's slower, but it's still up there. As you can see there, it's plus 0.084 against our previous time, so we're not catching the Ghost, and that red time now indicates where we are against our previous lap. We're just catching it back now. We got better acceleration through there. Now we're ahead of the Ghost. Keep it in fifth. We're going to dance across this corner. This is where I normally get it wrong on the second lap. We've actually held it. Still quicker. Slow it down to fourth. Slow it down to third. We're actually quicker than both those Ghosts. You see how they both pirouetted at exactly the same time? We didn't. Quarter of a second up. So minus 0.389. That makes up for that plus 0.084. See if we can do it the same. Fifth gear. Stab the brakes, down to fourth, across that apex, keep hard on the brakes, down to third. Slide the car in, second gear. Now we need to get it back up to third as soon as we can to get the acceleration out. Let's see if we do it. We're up into third, that's the way. Keep with them. Half a second up against the fastest time. That 7:48.9 is under threat. Run it wide, brake before the end of that grey curb now. We know we've got to keep the car straight. Don't like it sliding. We've gone ahead of one ghost. We're ahead of both ghosts, almost. And we let it slide. Not good. Sliding is slow. Don't say that to the drifters, they won't believe you. We're not drifting, we're sliding. It's a front wheel drive car. Third gear. Yeah, we've got it down here. Back into fourth. Know the point for braking. Second gear at the bottom of the hill. Get it tucked in. Third gear. We're 0.7 seconds almost ahead of these ghosts. Brake before the end of this red and white curb. Third gear, don't run it too wide, but you can put all four wheels on that curb if you can. Third gear, tap the brakes, push the throttle hard, the traction control will cut in, but push on. Now coming round this next corner, the critical braking point is the blue spray paint in the middle of the track. Brake before it, not after. There it is. Third gear, run it out wide, cut it in, hit the first apex, run it out onto the curb and gas on again. We're pushing that ghost behind us. A 3:37.228. That is just slower than our previous best, but that's only the sector time. We're still ahead of where we are. We've had 3 consecutive blues and then a red, so we're doing well. Now I'm never sure whether to leave it in 5th for this corner, but I'm changing down to 4th every time at this time. And the car is sliding, but we're trying to keep it straight as we improve. We're again red sector time, not as quick as we learned last time. We've lifted through there, but we're faster than the ghost. Third gear through here. Probably just too quick. We probably needed to slow it down just a bit earlier. Car went airborne. Down to third gear for this corner. I was running high in the top of the dome this time. Let's get it going. We've left that other ghost behind now, but the ghost in front is the one we're critical to chase. Fourth gear, we made the mistake of changing down to third here last time. Touch the brakes, get the car cut in across that first apex, cut the second apex, use the curb on the left down to third. Let the car run, get on the throttle, chase hard up to fourth. We've still got purple sector times, we're still getting red ones, so we're not as quick as the ghost, but overall we are as fast. Fourth gear, that's the way. Down to third, cut into this apex, keep accelerating. We're losing a little bit of time against the ghost, we're just running it a little bit hard. We're racing, we're not chasing, that's the problem. We've got to chase, not race. Just keeping in tabs, just keeping there, but we're well ahead of the other ghost. Oh, we went extremely wide there, but we managed to hold it. Third gear, we're now down to the ghost, so through that sector there we lost all that time. We know we can go faster. Fourth gear, braking just as we go off the lip, as we compression into that bottoming of the hill. Keep the foot on the brakes, but straight back up into the gas pedal. Keep it in fourth gear through this complex. We're 1.1 down on that ghost, really. Let's keep going. But now we're gaining on it. We've got higher top speed. Braking down to fourth. Cut that apex. Don't like this corner at all. Curbs, third gear. Gaining again, fourth gear down to third. Run it tighter, don't run it out too wide. We do, we put 2 tyres on the grass again. Let's see if we can ace this final corner. Fourth gear, we've kept it in fourth gear. We're on the right line. We're now going to keep the throttle down. We're lifting and feathering, but we're up into fourth. We're almost gaining on him now. Up into fifth. Now, how fast can we go? We are 0.9 plus seconds behind our fastest ghost. So that's 7:48.912. We're not going to beat at this time. We're plus 0.15 behind that ghost. All we have to do is get ahead. We're a car bumper width behind that ghost, because he's positioned 0.9 seconds ahead. Let's see what we can do on the brakes here. Let's see where we go. Use all the curbs. Braking late, down to fifth, down to fourth, into third. We've really scraped the barrel here. See if we can ace this corner. Third gear, pull out the hill, and this is where the third gear really does help charging up the hill. There it is, 0.3 of a second up, so 7:48.575. And that makes me feel good. 515 miles for the day, a potential 7:47.758. If we put those two laps together, where we gained and where we lost, there would be. But we finished the day at 2.53% over the gold time, a 7:48.575, which puts me inside the top 2,500, and I'm really happy with that. And if you can do the same thing, folks, all the better. But as it is, thank you very much for stopping and watching. It's appreciated. Thanks for the liking and subscribing. Thanks for everything you do. And with that, we'll see you on the next one. All the best, folks. Take care.